I just got back from TwitchCon and I'm feeling quite refreshed, seeing just how many people are really passionate about streaming, showing up for their audience every week or every few days. And with our packed panel, clearly a lot of streamers care about taking their content to the next level. Let's talk about 3 ways you can end 2024 on a high note with your streams and videos. This video is sponsored by Streamlabs and the new dual output feature in Streamlabs Desktop. More on that in a bit. First up, steal liberally, but steal from the right place. You know who is doing neat stuff that your audience has already seen a dozen times? Other streamers. You know who's doing neat stuff that your audience probably hasn't seen in a stream before? Literally everyone else.
I think there's a lot of extra kind of goodness you can get by really honing in on someone who does something that you want to do, even if they're not doing it in streaming. Like if they're doing, like if you have a favorite movie director or cinematographer, or you have just an entertainer who just like does cool stuff like at events or something, like trying to learn how to do what they do and then streaming that to Twitch or whatever is a lot better way to learn than just trying to purely copy the generic like streaming layout. And so for me, especially since that kind of thing didn't exist yet, we were using Flash Media Encoder and Wirecast and whatever. Like it was just a matter of being like, I want to look like this production. What are the elements I need? And so just finding the resources for that.
Go watch some movies, check out some music videos, see what people in other genres have come up with. Then write down anything from high-level concepts to the tiniest of scene or gimmick ideas that stick out to you, so you can start reverse engineering how you can adapt some of it to your own stream. The VTubing scene is absolutely exploding with creativity right now, as streamers put their avatars in anything from a 1950s concert hall to live television shows and more. The entire streaming industry could learn from their innovation right now. Step 2, stream in more places. Potential new viewers don't care about which platform you prefer. If you aren't streaming in the format or on the platform that they want to watch on, you're getting swiped past. Streamlabs Desktop makes multi-streaming easier than ever with the new dual output feature. Click the dual output icon in the sources section to get started. Here, you can enable multiple outputs for your stream. You can stream to 2 platforms at a time for free and multi-stream just about everywhere with Streamlabs Ultra. Here you can see I have a sample layout set up here with my favorite pack, StreamOS from Nerd or Die. Over here in the sources section, which we can make a little bit bigger here, we have a new button. You have your selective recording for your individual source recording, but you also have a new dual output button. Clicking this is going to load up some stuff, and then it's going to give you new video settings in a new tab to go with your standard horizontal stream. You also now have a vertical one. So we can go ahead and change whether we want this to be in 720p vertical or 1080p vertical. I'm just going to match it at 1080, your scaling filter, all that usual stuff. You can even change the frame rate, although I would imagine that would cause some complications, as those things tend to do with any streaming program. And we're going to click done. And what this does is it gives us a second canvas here that's in vertical. Now, we need to start tweaking it because our layout got a little bit funky here. But what I love is that we have all the exact same scenes and sources, like if I switch to my starting soon, but our sources are just in different places. And you can actually see, you can hide the individual vertical or horizontal canvases over here next to your scene layout, which I love. So we're going to go back to my intermission scene is actually what I was working with here. And we've already got, you know, the horizontal one set up, but we need to tweak our vertical one. So I'm gonna start by just hiding a lot of the stuff. I think that's the easiest flow to go, like in standard workflows here. So we're just gonna turn off most of these sources, and we're gonna work backwards and start trying to scale everything up. So I'm just gonna scale up our backdrop here. We'll move it so that the moon is in view. And you can right click and change scaling filter for every individual thing if you'd like. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time with it on it in this particular juncture, but I'm going to do that here. Then we're going to turn our desktop icons back on, and you can see in the vertical canvas we have a whole lot of them. So I'm going to go ahead and open that folder, and we're just going to move a couple around. This isn't going to be super important because no one's really going to see this in vertical, but just for the sake of the demo here. I always had cousins whose desktops looked like this, where all the icons were just like floating instead of being where they're supposed to be. And it always irked me. I don't get a whole lot of those OCD tendencies. but it always irked me. Now remember, you can use Control-Z to undo your actions if you need to. I love that that was added to Streamlabs. All right, good enough. Now we move up. We're going to add our taskbar, which isn't going to show a whole lot here, given where it is, but I'm going to just do that, and I'm going to move it up to the top. I think that will show a little easier. And now we're getting to our schedule and our file copy thing, but obviously the priority here is our webcam. So I want to set that up first. We're going to resize our media player widget to fit within the canvas. Don't forget to lock your backgrounds and stuff. Once they're in place, you got no reason to leave them unlocked. I'm just going to put that smashed right in the middle. We're going to drag our webcam down here. Since this is a vertical canvas, I am actually going to zoom in on my webcam a lot more so that you can see it a fair bit better. We're going to do something like that. And I would argue that for a lot of vertical canvases, you should just be filling the frame and not trying to prioritize your extra little elements here, but I'm just having fun. All right. We can drag our schedule down here. Make that a little bigger. You know, for the sake of this, not super important. But here we have the same sources. We didn't have to make new scenes. We didn't have to juggle two different scene collections. We've just got a horizontal canvas and a vertical canvas ready to rock. Now the next step is, of course, to set up your stream outputs for that. So we're going to go over here to settings and then stream. And then you need to connect whatever extra channels you want to stream to. So we can connect our Twitter, our YouTube, our TikTok, our Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with a couple of these here real quick. All right, now that we've set up our possible destinations, we are going to click Go Live. Now what this is going to do is pop up our multi-streaming dual output layout here. So I'm going to change my category and everything. It'll let you do that, which is really great. It also gives you a button to go ahead and share your stream on Twitter if you've linked your Twitter, which is great. You can change additional settings about your stream, such as tags and all that. We're going to keep it simple for now. We're going to add a secondary destination. I'm going to add YouTube. And we're going to add the vertical canvas for YouTube. And then we click confirm and go live. And it's going to update your information on your Twitch, on your YouTube, whichever platforms you have set up the dual encoders for your two different streams. And it's going to start your stream, which is freaking great. And after you go live, you are presented with your different chats that you can utilize. So by default, it will probably show you your Twitch chat. But if you give it a second to set up, you have a multi-stream chat available, which can show pretty much everything. You see here we have to grant permissions for it to actually send messages to our Twitch chat. But it's kind of impressive what all this can do. If you click here, you see it can read and reply on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook pages. It can read from Facebook profiles, Twitter, and Trovo, which is crazy. So you can really start to gather all of your stream chats here. So you can see here we have YouTube and Twitch to choose from here since we're just doing the two streams. So it's nice that you get the dedicated Twitch chat that comes from the usual integration, but you also just get a multi-stream chat that you can immediately just like monitor and interact with, which is wild. And you're live on two different platforms with two different canvases. This has been the easiest way to manage your sources and scenes on two different, a vertical and a horizontal canvas that I have seen thus far. I am very impressed. Streamlabs even makes it super easy to get approved for TikTok streaming directly in Streamlabs desktop without the usual fuss or juggling of extra programs. When you go live, choose a vertical and a horizontal platform and reach more people than ever before. Thanks again to Streamlabs for sponsoring this video. Finally, remember to be human. It's way too easy to get caught up in the dance monkey mode of begging for bits and subs and tips and lose sight of what your streams are actually about. Viewers can tune into a million different streams on various platforms to hear their name read aloud or see it drawn on a whiteboard, but there's only one you. Viewers stick around for you, your interests, your preferences, your style and personality. When you focus entirely on reading alerts out loud and insisting on only doing what a few people in chat say they prefer, you're throwing all that away. You might see minimal gains in the short term, but you could be burning viewers in the long run. True streaming success is doing what you love and getting people to stick around for it. I'll have a link to the full TwitchCon panel in the description. Unfortunately, the Q&A was not streamed, but I know Nutty filmed it, so it's possible that he will have that posted somewhere. Huge thank you to the unbelievable number of people who said hello throughout TwitchCon, took every piece of merch I had left, showed up to the panel or to the Q&A or to the meet and greet, and all the other streamers who I hung out with over the weekend. Streaming can be pretty isolating, but getting yourself near some real people who love doing what you do helps a lot. Check out Streamlabs Desktop at the link below, and remember to be kind, rewind.